It is. It is. It's supposed to be like 106 today. Luckily, it didn't hit that, but it's hot.
Yeah, I think the heat index got like 110 here. Are you in OKC or?
Yeah, I'm in Oklahoma City.
Nice. Yep. Super hot,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Now I need to decide if I'm gonna go take this walk today.
Oh yeah, it's me and my wife. We go for a walk every night around Scissortail because I live right next to Scissortail there, and man, it's amazing like how different. You just cross the street. It's like 10 degrees hotter over there, man.
Yeah.
It's all them
Yeah.
lights and stuff, man.
Yup. No,
Pretty
believe me, I
wild.
understand that.
Sure. How's your day, man?
It's been going good, man. It's been going good. You're staying
Good deal.
busy and
I like that shirt, man.
appreciate it. It's from Home Field Apparel.
Nice, man. It's like got an old school look to it almost.
Yeah, it is. It's one of because they do mostly vintage
Okay.
collabs and stuff, and so yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty dope.
Nice, man. So yeah, I just kind of want to get into the little bit like defensive expectations maybe this year. Uh, like I really think Stutzman. It's his second year, in Venable's system. He's got. I think he really bought into that. Like really actually learning the game and not just
Hmm.
rely on his natural talents.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
For sure. Like, and I mean, he's going to be the quarterback of the defense. I mean, he's the proven leader, and it's really going to be up to him on. I think how that front seven really runs this year, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it, man. I think this defense is built, um, like you said, Stutzman. A lot of players have adopted the mentality that Venables and them have, and so I really anticipate this to go real good this year. I think the other big thing too that's something to consider is that they're no longer on the ground floor with everybody, only the new people,
Yeah.
and so that's going to be a complete difference maker on the defensive side um, when it comes to execution on the field. I mean, all of the non-new people have seen this for a full year, so they know what to do.
Right.
Mainly the linebackers and the secondary. I think that's the ones that are the most critical. The defensive line's job is just to get on the other side of the ball.
Right.
But the linebackers being able to determine, like the blitz packages and understanding where to shift and what area to cover in the zones, they'll be able to do that a lot better because they'll know where to go and the confusion will be minimal. Because
Right.
yes, Venable's defense is complex, and that's the thing that everybody knows.
And and then not just where to go, but when to go, like when to go
Mm-hmm.
there and when not to go there. And I mean, that happened. You could really see in that K State game. I mean, Stutzman, I mean, everybody overran a bunch. They just pursued like crazy, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just,
exactly.
they were just antsy, man. I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, but yeah, so they're still gonna have Stutzman, Kanik, and is McKenzie gonna be the third linebacker?
Probably not.
No.
I'm thinking Stutzman, Kanik. Um, well, it depends on how they set it up. The Mike and Will is going to be Stutzman and Kanik.
For sure.
And then of course they'll most likely have the Cheetah. The
Yeah,
Cheetah's going to
that's
probably be
right.
the third one. So that'll be between McCullough and Harrington is my anticipation.
Okay. Man, that McCullough, I'm really, really super excited to see what that guy does on the field, man. I mean, he's a dog, man. He's a
Oh
dog.
yeah, he's a big boy. He's gotten big too.
Yeah,
Like you said, the pictures have been going around.
for
Everybody's
sure.
recognized. He's big.
Yeah, and I mean that just shows you strength and conditioning, how huge that is, especially in today's game, man.
Oh yeah, Schmitty man, bring them dudes in January and now it's June. 6 months, you see a body transformation. Tells you everything you need to know about what he's doing.
Big time, man. It's like when you're midway through the fourth, and like your body says no, but your mind goes anyway.
Yep.
That's where we're gonna get, and that's what I love about Coach Venables, man. Especially his stance on commitment. Like I heard, I think it was I can't remember who said this, but commitment is doing what you said you were going to do in
Mm-hmm.
the after the moment you set it in is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Uh,
everybody's like, "Woo, yeah, yeah, yeah." But when chips are down, it's like, who's really going to be committed?
it's true. Looks like we just got a commitment.
Oh, who we got?
Wyatt Gilmore.
Oh, nice.
Let me go ahead and make
What do you
this
think's going to happen with Warney or Nawarney? Is that what it is?
Waneri. Yeah.
Waneri
Williams
and
Waneri.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. To be honest, I'm anticipating honestly think we'll win them. I don't see why we wouldn't.
and Stone too, huh?
I think this defense is going to be absurd, man. They're
I'm
going to
telling you.
because all of them are selling each other on it too.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
So
I mean, there's been some great defensive linemen come through, and another one that's going to be great. I think the next great defensive end is going to be PJ
yeah, PJ
Adabare.
Adebayo is going to be a beast.
Man, he reminds me of Dan Cody so much. Man, he's so long, and he's got some crazy closing speed. Man, like
He
I
really
bet the
does.
5.10.5 time was insane, dude.
Oh yeah,
It had to have been, man. He's so
PJ's
long.
fast. PJ's fast.
Yeah, I was talking to Jason Watkins on the Birdie Man, the
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Fame, and he said he's seen him play live at this last high school All Star, one of the All Star games. Um, he said that dude was just insane, like just all over the place, man. Like he was ready.
All over the place. That is his game too.
Nice, yeah. I've seen a couple of his clips anyway, but um, so we got speaking of recruiting, got Xavier Robinson, the big dude. He's like what 6'2", 235 or so, 240,
220.
220.
220. He's actually slimming down. He did an interview with OU Insider after the commitment, and he basically said that his goal is to get down to 210
Really?
for this season and probably be around that range going into OU. Because when I went to the commitment and I saw him, and I'm just like, dude, you're huge. Dude, what you been eating? What you been doing? You've been doing that PC because he's up here in Midwest City, and I live not
Right,
too
right.
far from the school. That's where my son goes, and
Nice.
so I was picking at him. I'm like, okay, I see you. He's looking stocky, and he's all
Right.
smiling and stuff. He's like, yeah, man, I've been really working out hard, man, trying to get in good shape. And so we were laughing or whatnot. But yeah, he looks huge. Like he looks smaller than he did in the last set in his film from last year. He actually looks
Okay.
slimmer, but he still looks big. Like
Yeah,
he's a big human being, and I'm anticipating him getting a little bit bigger.
yeah. He's got a big frame for sure, man. For
Yeah.
sure. I seen him in the playoffs last year, and that was a man
Mm-hmm.
amongst boys, man. He was
Grown man.
grown, man. It was crazy.
Grown man.
And so Carl Albert, right? That's where he's playing, correct?
Mm-hmm. And then you got I saw Kevin Sperry there.
Yep,
He
yep.
came to the commitment. He's the he's gonna be the new quarterback next year, which was
It's kind
he
of it's wild, but it's cool though because there's another kid from Colorado, Carl Albert. I think he's the number one safety in Oklahoma. Maybe
trying to think.
he's a DB. I know that. Um,
Maybe Tristan Hayes.
yeah, maybe that's it. Dang, I should have got his name, but I didn't. But I know he's
Let me
like
look him up
top
real quick.
top five DB. I think in the state of Oklahoma, and be nice to start getting some of these in-state kids. I mean, we're starting to, I guess now, but it's nice to see the defensive side of the ball getting a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
action, man. Because I mean, SEC like it's looks like OU's starting to switch again to committing to running the football and playing defense, man. Which
Yep.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, bringing in that defensive guy, the one that helped produce the best defenses we ever had here at Oklahoma. That was probably the smartest move we made was going ahead and bringing him back. To me, I mean, I was sold on BV coming here from the beginning, mainly because of his track record and his career. I mean, he's had three
Yeah,
jobs, which some people are like, oh, that's not enough. And I'm like, no, he's been under 3 legendary coaches from Bill Snyder to Bob Stoops to Dabo Sweeney. So that's 3 Hall of Fame coaches guaranteed. And he's learned how to be successful with all of them. And because of that, that sold me 100% on him right now.
And his ability to connect with those kids is it's uncanny, really. I mean, there's not too many coaches that, like, you figure a defensive guy is going to be able to bond with the defensive side of the ball, but I mean, he's like a player, like transformational coach. He's not all about what can you do for me right now. Like,
Right.
let's make you a better person and a better player, and then we can go from there. Setting these young men up for success. It's badass, man.
Yeah, he's doing it big for him, man. He's doing it real big for him.
I love it.
I'm thinking, let me see, DB, we had Devon Jordan, but he's at Union. I think that may be the 25 class. I think that's the class that he is in. Let me go to the state and see if I can pull up, because I'm curious about that name of who that.
Yeah, no, Sperry was recruiting him. He's like, we're playing together now. Might as well keep it going.
Oh yeah. Tristan Haynes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
saw
it.
him there too. 6'2",
Oh, nice.
175. I actually saw him. He was at the commitment as well, and so I'm pretty excited. I think he thinks he's gonna be pretty good. I'm hoping we go ahead and snatch him up too, because it makes the most sense. Get all the best players in the state you can, man.
Yep. And man, there's some dang good ball players in the state of Oklahoma, man. A ton
There
of
is.
ton. And so, what kind of you were talking about Sperry? He transferred from high school ball in Texas to Carl Albert, and then they got the number 1 player in the country, 24 class, Rayola, the Rayola kid.
Yep, Dylan Rayola.
Yeah, he went from Arizona to Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
and he avoided a 4-game penalty by transferring. So, like, I don't want to say anything bad about a kid. I don't want to, but you think that, like, kind of takes away from his maybe leadership ability to lead, or like, because he won't be on the field, he'll be just on the sidelines, and you think that take away, like, maybe he doesn't have the leadership abilities that people think he might have?
Nah, not at all, actually. So he was transferring in Arizona,
Yeah.
and because he was moving districts, that requires a 4-game sit out. Well,
Oh.
he ain't to worry about it now.
Yeah.
He's going to Georgia. He'll be in Buford, Georgia, which is best for Georgia because Buford, Georgia is that high school is a hotbed for Bama. That's a school. That's a school that Bama has pulled in a lot of players, and so Georgia's trying to stop those in-state guys from leaving. Well, there's 2 main guys there. There's KJ Bolden, who is the number 1 safety in the country, 5-star. If I'm correct, he's a 5-star plus, so he's a consensus across the board. Everybody's got him as a 5-star, and he right now Georgia's trying to get him. And then from there, outside of KJ Bolden, you also have Edric Houston, one of the top edges in the country. That's also a 5-star that goes to Buford. And so you get Rayola there. He can go in and try to convince them to come with him to Georgia, which makes sense because Bama wants KJ bad.
Oh, I bet.
The last player that came out of Buford is Caleb Downs, who's a freshman at Georgia now and will most likely be a starter this season there.
Damn. What position is he run at?
Who? Caleb Downs? Safety.
Yeah, Caleb Downs, safety. Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, he'll be a starting safety at Georgia this year because he's a monster. Basically, who is it? Nick Saban praised him and compared him, dang it, what's his name? I forgot the player's name, but he compares no one to this player and says that Caleb Downs is another him. And this is the player he considered the best player he's ever coached in his life. I can't think of his name for the life of me, though. I got to find it real quick because it's going to irritate me.
Nice, man. So, speaking of Georgia, man, there's some pretty wild allegations coming out of Georgia, huh?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. that's usually what happens with certain programs, man, that ascend very fast. They get a lot of questionable people, and that's what
Yeah.
happens.
It is. It is. It's a big time game, man, and big time egos. Big. I mean, it doesn't stop. I mean, it doesn't. They're like your big time ego don't start when you get to the NFL, and then you got so many pressures. Like as a student athlete, man, you got your studies, and then you got practice, and you got all these expectations that people are putting on you. And when you fall short, man, it's hard to deal with that, man, and find other
Yeah,
ways to deal with it. It's
yeah, no, it's they're getting pulled a lot of different places, and it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work being a college athlete.
it's,
It's a ton of work. Like
it
it's a
is.
full time job.
No, right? I mean, it really is. It really is. I mean, if you want to make it to the league, that's the goal. I found it. I was watching the news. I think it was yesterday, but they're talking about the 9-year-old kid from Los Angeles signed a 6-figure NIL deal.
Who was that?
I can't remember his name, but he was in a Snoop Dogg's youth league,
Hmm.
and the same agency that I think it was. I think it was. I can't remember what agency. My fault. But 6-figure deal, man. Like for a 9-year-old kid.
Gollywood died. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. It was some weird. Yeah, that was it. That name. But he's a running back. I'm not again. Whatever. Do your thing, man. However, I just think you think the kid's gonna get satisfied this early and like, or will that just drive him to, keep going?
It should drive him to keep going. I mean, now he's starting to get attention. He got to live up to it. Hopefully, it doesn't stress him out too much because that's usually the problem with sports is that it'll stress you out more than anything.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, and it all comes back to expectations, man. It's
Yeah.
like I think that's one of Brett Bomar's. Remember Brett Bomar?
Yep.
Man, everybody expected so much out of him, and when it didn't happen, it was over, man. And I did.
Oh yeah.
He had some talent too, man. A lot of talent. A lot of talent.
Yeah. I was talking to Paul Thompson about him.
Nice.
Talking about good old Rhett. Because
Oh yeah, they did play together, huh?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, he had. I think they lost the TCU game, and then they benched Paul, put in Rent, and Rent ran the entire rest of the season. And then after that, Rhett got kicked off the team for breaking rules, getting paid but not going to work.
Right. Sounds like a couple guys I know. No.
Right.
They could get ran out.
Hmm.
For sure, man. Um, so like, you got any big expectations for OU this year?
Yeah, man. When I saw the over under was set at 9.5, and Vegas has uh, the dog money on the over at barely 115 plus on the juice, and then the under is set at like minus 110 or something like that. I looked at that and I was like, oh, Vegas wants everybody to take the under. They're
Right,
baiting as many people as possible to take the under, especially after having a 6-win season. If
right.
Vegas anticipated OU to lose more than 9 games, they would have probably set it to like 7 or 8
Right.
just to get everybody to buy the over, and then OU underperforms. But with that being that close, it's almost even money at the over and the under. It feels like Vegas is like, nah, I want y'all to take the under, and as more people take the under, it's gonna grow more. They're gonna try to bait as many people as possible to get paid. And so for me, I went ahead when I was in Louisiana. I took the over
Nice.
immediately because I there's no 10 wins is the expectation. There's no excuse not to. It's only 2 games I would expect I could see OU losing, and that would be Texas and a random road game, which I'm thinking either BYU or Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati is dealing with a lot of change. They got a new coach, new system, I think a new quarterback. So I don't see that actually happening, but there's always a possibility.
Mhm.
UCF should be a challenging team this year because Malzone knows how to coach. He coached in
Yeah,
the
he does.
SEC for years, so he knows what he's doing. You can't argue about his credentials, and so um, that is what I'm curious about. Which team could potentially pull it off? I can see going out to Provo and losing in that altitude because it's in
Yeah,
November. It's going to be
yeah.
cold.
No, yeah.
The air is going to be thin. But the good thing is having Schmitty, he'll have them physically prepared
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go up against that. And so I say no more than 2 losses this year. There's no excuse to have more than 2 losses this year. They should beat Texas. I don't think Texas is that great. I think we could beat Texas if we had a quarterback in that game, one that actually could play. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 10-2 is the floor, and the ceiling is 11-1.
Well, I mean, they were only like there was a few games there where it was just a one score game. I mean, they could have easily been, 9-4.
5
You know,
games by 3 points or less.
I mean, and like if people can't see that, then I mean, dang man, that's pretty dang good for a new coach coming in. He's losing what 30. You only had like 30% of your roster left.
Yep, it was a complete. He said it in the press conference, ripping it back to the studs, and they
Yep,
did that.
they did. Yeah, they did. Put up some new some of that green drywall and stuff don't get wet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So oh yeah, I was gonna talk about Texas a little bit. I think as long as Sark is in season, is still there, they're not gonna do anything. And it's got to be like you said, ripped down to the studs. That's the only way you're gonna fix that thing. I mean, they're so far lost, dude. There's no culture there of winning or. I mean, it's just I don't know. Take a couple laps in the pool and win a trophy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Texas' big problem is that they've been told that they're so great their whole lives and have not been able to be able to produce, and then their boosters, man, they just put their hands in there too much. Where it's like, why are you doing that? There's no reason for you guys to be this involved. Why are we here?
Yeah, yeah,
And they dictate so much that it takes away from what Sark's going to be able to do. I don't think Sark's a bad coach. We watched him do well at Alabama and running that offense for Saban, so we know he's not a bad coach, and we've seen him as a head coach. Now, I've said this before to people. Sark is different in comparison to comparing other new coaches. As Sark's been a head coach numerous times. He's had stops at Washington. He had stops at USC, and unfortunately, the teams there got better when he left. 7-win Sark makes sense. But I think that he can figure it out here if they let him. And that's the question is, can Texas get out of their own way and let him do his job? Because if I start hearing about Manning getting in here this year, then Texas is toast.
yeah. Maybe Sark's just one of them dudes that's just a great coordinator, like John Blake. That dude brought so much talent to Norman,
Yeah.
but he didn't know how to delegate or he just didn't know how to lead. Like he could lead a group, like a group of the group.
Yeah.
He
A
was going to lead
position
the
group.
whole group.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't a good CEO. He's probably a good CFO, CMO. He's a C-suite guy. He can handle a department. Wasn't the guy that was good for the overall look. He could recruit his butt off. He just didn't know where to put people. We're getting athletes and
Yeah.
putting them on the offensive side when they should be on defense, and defensive guys on the offensive side. It's just evaluations weren't there. And so because of that, you saw the difference. And that's why Stoops was able to go in there his second year, bring in Venables and, go in and with Venables as well as, his brother Mike at the time, put out an elite defense, go out and win a national championship. And so that's what we're hoping to get back to here. And I think that BV is that. Sark, Sark has done a better job on the recruiting trail. They're not getting a whole bunch of skills position guys and avoiding the trenches. They've got some monsters up front and on both sides of the ball. So I expect Texas to win 10 games as well. Their floor is 10-2 also. This should be the first time they'll get a 10-win season since Herman was here. And that is the expectation as well. If they don't get 10 wins, then this was definitely a failed year.
Well, and Herman goes back to your point about the boosters.
Yep.
I mean, dude was a winner.
He
He won undefeated in bowl games. I think he was 24 games above 500 or something like that, maybe. But yeah, I mean, the dude could win, but he didn't win it flashy enough, or I don't know. I guess that's what it is, not big enough, but
right. That's kind of usually what it is that it's just they want to win immediately, and if they're not getting what they want, they want to fire everybody. And it's like sometimes it takes some time, man. Got to slow down. If you don't want to slow down, then you're in your own way.
Yeah, they say you got to trust the process, fall in love with the process, but most of all, respect the process, because that process will eat you alive if you ain't respecting it, man.
Easy, you won't even know.
Swallow you up, man.
That's true. That's very true.
It is. So the SEC brand, that's definitely going to help recruiting. Just on the SEC brand alone, it's got to help, right?
I say yeah. It seems like that's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. I don't think it's, how can I say it? The SEC is a big deal. It's not. I'm not going to downplay it at all. But we've recruited in SEC country for years. BV was recruiting in SEC country at Clemson, so our staff has experienced, recruiting in the area, and of course, a lot of these kids want to play against the other greats, and so now we got that. I can totally see. I can see it helping a little bit. Mainly because we'll be playing in a lot of those areas. So it makes it a lot easier for kids to want to come to the school because their parents have got a chance of actually seeing them play. That's kind of like one of the big things with being in the Big 12 is depending on where you're recruiting, it's all about what area you where you're playing at and if the family can come visit. And so, yeah, expectation is, I think there's going to be, they're going to we're going to do a lot better on the recruiting trail now.
And I do believe, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I think maybe the addition of playing more night games is another recruiting tool, because like who wants to wake up at 10 o'clock or 9, 8, wake up at 8 and go play some football, it's just.
Right.
And yeah, you're right. Yeah. And everybody's going to show up because it's OU, but it's going to be more likely they're going to show up at 6 o'clock at night, and
that's true.
Playing under the lights on a national stage, it gives them kids more of a way to, make their brand or whatever,
It's more so it's just really cool playing at night too.
It really is, man.
Lights. It's just really cool.
Nothing like playing under lights, man. That's the greatest, man. Used to love it. I miss playing ball, man. This is fun.
Oh yeah. No, I feel you on that. I be missing it too sometimes, but yeah, it's gonna be cool the being able to play in the play in those lights and play in those stadiums, especially those massive ones, because you could go to a night game at Death Valley down there at LSU. It's dope. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've never been
there.
I couldn't even imagine. I mean, what's that, like 105,000 or something? 103?
Something like that. It's about 103. It's and 102. It's like 102.7 or something like that. I've been down there before, and it's fire. It's a very dope stadium. That's one of my favorites.
That's like 40,000 more people than the city than I moved here from. That'd be crazy, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really
but yeah, man, that environment right there, that just gives you chills just thinking about it, man. And like doing up until the kickoff. And it was funny though. I'll tell you how old I am. I was talking to CJ Blocker. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, man, that dude's a speedster. He's pretty cool, man. But
Cool.
I was all, yeah, the chills you get when you hear that first snap of your um, helmet when you snap it up. He's like, oh, we don't have snaps no more. We just pull them. I was like,
Hmm.
oh,
It's just zzz, zzz.
yeah. They gotta make me feel old, bud.
Right. It's getting like, dang man, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, man, that dude is super quick, man. He's gonna have a good career at Utah, man. He's a really good kid, man. Some of Chris Blocker from OU there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I seen that Reggie Pearson interview you did.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that kid, that's nice. He brings so much big time experience in big time games to us. I mean, at Wisconsin, Texas Tech, I am super stoked. Like that dude's like Bob Sanders, man. He really reminds me of Bob Sanders a lot.
Yeah, man, he got a lot of people excited listening to him talk, and yeah, I could totally see the Bob Sanders comparison, just taller. Yeah, he likes to hit. I mean, listening to his dad talk about his favorite hit against Michigan, and then watching him hit people, dude.
He brings
Pearson's gonna be fun, and then I think the one thing that's really gonna be beneficial is he can't coming here. He was on that Wisconsin team. They were top five defense in the country. They're like number two, if I'm correct.
nice.
And so he knows what it looks like to have a nice, complex defense. He was in the Rex Ryan defense, and he's just like, yeah, man, it was pretty complex. And he's like, man, coming to Venables, man, I was able to pick it up quickly just because of that experience. And he's like, man, a lot of these dudes, they've picked this defense very well.
Mm,
And yeah, we're gonna shock y'all on the defensive side of the ball. And when he said that, I'm like, all right, noted.
nice.
I believe you.
Yeah, just like Venable said last year, we got to cash in some receipts.
Yep. He's already said, man, if we can get this defense top 40, we'll be playing for some trophies, and
Yeah,
that's possible.
it's very possible, man. It's a like the first 3 years at Clemson, Venable's first year, his defense was like top 90. Second year was top 40. Third
Hmm.
year was top 25. I mean, it's proofs in the pudding, baby. I mean, it's black and white. Numbers don't lie, man. They just they don't lie, and people just need to settle down and just let it ride. Just enjoy the ride, baby. Just enjoy
Right,
the ride.
right.
It's gonna
We're
be
getting there.
fun. We are,
Enjoy
man.
the ride.
We are, man. I mean, it's crazy to think about. OU's had what, um, 5 losing seasons in the last 50 years.
Right. Tells you everything you need to know.
I mean, seriously, dude, how can you deny that? I mean, it's crazy, man. Project Simpson, I talked to him a few months ago, and I was like, why does everybody hate OU? He's like, it goes like this. He says, the sooner you get here, the sooner we can kick your ass, and the sooner you can leave. I
Right.
was like, yeah, and that's the mentality that I mean. That's why I fell in love with OU, man. Is that they just always fought, and they'd always come out victorious. I mean, they just never gave up, man.
Never giving up, and that's key. It's probably
It
the most
is.
important thing right there.
It is. It is. I was going to ask you about Reggie Grimes. What do you think about Reggie Grimes? Is he going to be lost?
Oh, I think this is a year he's gonna have a breakout, man. He started the year off last year real good,
He did,
and then it
man.
kind of tapered off. I think having a second year, not only in the conditioning program and the system, is going to do nothing but benefit him. He's going to have to hold off those young bucks, though. I mean, you've got PJ, who who's knocking on that door of trying to get in, and so because of that, but I think do a really good job of working it to where he'll be out there on the field on a regular basis. Him and Ethan Downs, and they'll make the magic happen.
And yeah, so he plays end, right? Grimes, the Grime
Mm-hmm.
Dog,
Yep,
taking a bite out of quarterbacks. The Grime Dog.
he can get it. That's all we need. We need him to get
Oh
down
yeah.
there.
So you got a breakout player this year, or under the radar player that you think's gonna surprise some people?
Um, I think Stutzman has himself a Biletnikoff season. No, not Biletnikoff. I'm sorry, a Butnick season. I think he goes out there for the linebacker award.
Nice. Nice. That's very nice, dude. I like that. I'm going with DJ Graham.
Oh man, he's gonna have a good one.
Man, why? I was when he was coming out of high school in Texas. He was anywhere from the first to third ranked high school senior wide receiver coming out of
Sorry,
Texas.
the Butkus award, the Dick Butkus award. That's the award. That's what I'm talking about. I
Oh,
think
they said
Stutzman can go for the
the
Dick Butkus award.
Betneric or whatever. But
Yeah, he can get the Dick Butkus award. I think he's gonna go for the Butkus. He's gonna be like Bosworth, try to get it before he rolls out.
nice. He's got that little boss swag about him too.
He does. He really does.
That's a funny story about Boz. I seen him at the spring game this year, and I went and talked to him. And I told him a story about when I was like about 8 years old. I seen him eating at a Black Eyed Pea restaurant here in Oklahoma City, and like that dude, that was my dude. I had the Boz cut and everything, man. And I walked up to him like, can I get your autograph, Boz? He's like, can't you see I'm trying to eat? He's like, get out of here. I was like, oh, dude, I was crushed, man. My heart was like, he's like, ah. And I told him that story. He's like, well, I appreciate you waiting 30 years or whatever. He's like, let's get a picture, bud.
Nice. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'll do it now. Now I'm done eating.
Right,
I'll take
right.
care of
Yeah.
you.
It was funny, man.
That's funny.
But yeah, DJ Graham, man, that dude he's super athletic, dude. Like not just because of that one catch, like his mom Inetta was saying that he said that he doesn't want to be remembered for that one play, like that's the player that he is. I said, well, you got to just like think about the athletic prowess that it takes to do that, man. Like
Yeah.
in a game, live action, like that's not something you can set up for, and he was the third ranked, anywhere from first to third ranked wide receiver coming out of high school in Texas. 15 spots ahead of Marvin Mims. He was ahead of that kid at Ohio State, got drafted by the Seahawks. He's got like two last names or whatever. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was ahead of them guys, man, and I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong, man. I think he's going to be a deep threat this year, big time deep threat. He can catch anything. His paws are huge, man.
Yeah, they are. I could totally see him having a good year.
And tight end's going to be a pretty good spot this year, huh? With Stogner.
Yeah, it's good having him back. Veteran presence. It's always
He's
a
a
good plus having
big
somebody
dude,
who
man.
knows stuff. Yeah.
Really big dude. That's too bad. He got sick, right? It's something to do with his surgery or something a couple years ago.
Oh, I'm not even sure. That's a possibility.
He was just killing it, man. And he took a hit. I can't remember who it was against, but he lost like 30 pounds or something, man.
Oh.
He got really sick, man.
Well, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we went over the expectations. I got everything written down on this whiteboard that I'm trying to go over. So, are you guys doing a few comparisons? And I think Canick's going to be the next All-American linebacker from the University of Oklahoma.
I can see that. I can see either him or McKenzie.
Yeah, I see a lot of like Rufus Alexander and Canick. I mean, just the way Rufus, he would step in a hole and just stand a dude up. He's seen the game so much. But in all fairness, he had Lehman, Calmus, all them guys in front of him, to learn from. So, Teddy Lehman, man, that dude was good.
Yep, him and Rocky Calmus.
God damn
Rocky's kids here too. So.
Oh yeah, Case was it Kaysen?
Yep.
It's not as big as old Rocky though.
Yeah, nah, he didn't get all of Rocky's genes. He's got enough. He's got some heart. Dude can play.
Oh yeah, man. As average skill, phenomenally willed. I mean, that your will take you so much further, man. You know, I always say max effort plus max focus equals beast mode every time, man. Like it's hard to be a team that's giving it all, man. Like a unified front is so hard to beat, man. So
That's
hard to
true.
beat. And that's what Lincoln Riley's problem is he can't, and nothing against the guy. I mean maybe just a little bit against him, but 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 it's just he doesn't. He's like a so we got Venable's transformation on this guy's like a transitional, maybe I think is what it is. But
Mm,
where you just care about the performance, man. And he doesn't know how to water the whole lawn. You know, he likes to water his skill players and then give, you know, the ones that actually make the thing go. You know, they give them just enough so they're not, you know, thirsty all the time.
right.
But yeah, he could be a great coach, man, if he would just not worry about. I mean, I don't know. I don't know actually. Like I just can't figure the guy out, man. It's like coaches like that have the what do they call it, expiration dates because they don't have the ability to think on the fly almost.
Yeah.
You know, like they have to have a week to come up with a game plan. Whereas in my opinion, I think Venables could change his whole game plan up in the second quarter if he had to, and his team would respond.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, for sure, man. But I guess I'm gonna get out of here, bud. Do you got any pointers for like podcasting, bud?
I mean, the biggest thing is consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. You gotta put the content out there and make sure when you're putting it out there. It's always good to have structure. So when listeners tune in, they know what to expect. That's what I've seen that brings back listeners. They like structure. On top of that, whenever you're doing if you're doing them on YouTube or whatnot, thumbnails are critical. You got to have a thumbnail that's going to be appealing to people. Got to have a good intro and hook. People tune in within the first 3 minutes and decide if they want to be there or not.
Okay.
So that's the most important thing. So you've got about 3 to 5 seconds to yank somebody in. If you're not pulling them in within that, sometimes you can get to 15 seconds, but you don't have very long. And so I
Mm.
always tell everybody, make sure you got a good hook to start. Any points or key portions of your thought process or conversation you're doing, make sure that you have a hook, some sort of a hook to lead into what your point's going to be, because that's what gets people intrigued into what you're going to say. People bag on like ESPN and Fox and stuff with like the way that they lead into stuff, but that's what works. That's
Right.
been proven. It's a science that's been proven to get people's attention. You've got to do certain things, and they're doing exactly that. A lot of people
Right.
don't like it. You may not like it, but you got to respect the game because that's what works.
Yep.
It brings in more people than it turns people off. And even with your own, whenever you're doing it, like I said, you got to have a nice hook. You got to bring in people's attention. When you get their attention, then you can kind of give your point and make sure that you're going to a point. That's really the key thing. Most people want to make sure that they see an in game to what you're about to say, and the end game can't be 20 minutes down the line. You've got
Right.
to break
Right.
it up into. I try to break up mine into like 2 minute basically segments, more so to where I can make, if I wanted to, I can make them into shorts.
Okay.
So that's why my videos are usually 10 minutes or less. I try to make my point within about a minute if I can. If I can tee you in with the first few seconds and then close it out within a minute, then I've been successful. And so over a 10-minute span, my goal is to have 10 different points that pull you in.
Okay.
That way, and that's the thing that I've seen has been successful with a lot of the larger channels. You got to find a way to make people want to listen to you talk. And if you do that, that's where the success come from, baby.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
like kind of concentrating on school. I got 3 more semesters left, man. I'll be the
Nice.
first one in my family to graduate college, man.
Congrats. That's dope.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, dude. Got my bachelor's in organizational leadership, man.
Okay. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, that's a grind, man. I was one of the first in my family too, so that's
Yes,
definitely dope.
it's cool, man. It like gives you another level of like confidence, man. Just it's
Yep.
cool.
Put little things in perspective too for you too. It's really was just pretty cool.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
for
dope. Three
sure.
semesters. You count it
Yeah.
down?
Huh?
Count it down. Three
Oh
semesters.
yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Be a SNU Red Storm, baby.
Get it, get it.
Before I go though, can I get a horns down?
Get your horns down, baby, always.
Always. Only one, baby.
Yeah, only one, baby.
Hey,